Just one moment, please. Okay. Okay. This session is a continuation of the uh, is continuation of the leadership session that we've had. This is session 3 of that session, and this one is going to be uh, engaging in leadership as it refers to running a campaign, a successful campaign, battle campaign, civil rights campaign at the grassroots level, and what the leadership has to be for that campaign to be successful. Now, uh, this is at the top of the list. The most important information that one must obtain and must be aware of and must be highly cognizant of is this: knowing your enemy, knowing your enemy's strengths, knowing your enemy's weaknesses, knowing you, knowing yourself, knowing your strengths, and knowing your weaknesses. Okay, now let's start with what is clearly a black man's enemy as we move forward after the protest. At this point, of course, it always changes, and you have to be cognizant of those changes. You must make sure you make the proper assessment of those changes as we move forward. Okay? First one is, what is the Republican Party? What is the RNC? And what does it mean for black people, black men? Okay? First, the leaders at this time for the Republican Party are Mitch McConnell. He's at the top. Whether you think Trump is not right. Without Mitch McConnell, Trump, it'd be all over for Trump. Okay? And I'm not talking about, of course, the people who voted for Trump are here. But I'm talking about the ones who carry out their whims. Okay? The ones at the top at this point is Mitch McConnell, leader of the Senate, because he makes all of the he takes care of all the judicial nominations for the president. Mitch McConnell is here. Like I said, without him, Trump is nothing. Then you have Steve Mnuchin, the money man, Treasury Secretary. Okay? If you're not up on everything that he's doing as far as the negotiations with your $600 check, the stimulus check, money that's going with the stock market, all those kind of things. By the way, that's a good idea for black people to get in, especially when things are kind of cheap now. And then the Senate itself, and then maybe the puppet. Okay? Now, their strengths are exactly what I just laid out. The Senate makes all the judicial nominations. Steve Mnuchin has all the power of the money, and they have something right now that the protesters and us, as the protesters, don't have, and that is unity. Okay? Now, they'll tell you, and you'll see it on the news, and the experts will say this. They'll say, and I'm talking about the never Trumpers, who are Republicans who are against Trump, but let's not get it twisted. They are part of the reason why we're here now. They just ready to jump ship. Oh, no, they didn't like him in the beginning, but they didn't work hard enough to keep him out. Now, and then you have the RNC, Republican National Committee. Okay, they run they run interference. They run all of the arguments that are in front of local, state, and federal courts, including the Supreme Court. And I'll get with that in a moment. But in any event, a lot of people say that, the Republicans that are following Trump now, they're cowards. They don't... Look, let me tell you something. Here's a secret. What they're doing now, what Trump is doing now, and the reason why they're following him is because they believe everything that they believe in everything that he's doing. Shh, don't tell nobody, but that's the truth. They'll say, a lot of the experts will say, no, he's not, they're not really following Trump. They're just being cowards. No, they're right on his side because they're saying, hey, look, our nation is changing. It's not looking the same way it was when we were young. And remember, right, all of the ones that are following Trump, and a lot of them in the RNC are older white men from the 50s. Because the Republican Party ain't been following Lincoln and the anti-slavery people since the 50s, when the Klan all but took over. Okay, and I should say even in the 40s. Okay, so don't let them fool you into thinking that, well, we're just following orders, or Trump I don't agree with everything he says. That's a bunch of hogwash. Okay, now to us, because I want to get this in. I don't want this video to be too long. Now us, contrary. And just so that people know, the conservative judiciary that we have now, John Roberts, Gorsuch, all of them. Guess what? John Roberts and them pulled an okie doke because in Rhode Island they just ruled against the RNC. That's why I didn't put the conservative courts in with the Republican Party, because John Roberts smells a rat. And if you want to know more about that Rhode Island a decision that was made by the Supreme Court is RNC versus Rhode Island. Look it up on the judiciary, federal judiciary, or it may be in the local papers or in the papers on the internet. Now, to our strengths and weakness, black men. Okay, now, contrary to popular beliefs, black men are conservatives. Now, just because we're not white men and we're not running the country, we built this, baby. We as black men built this, because every hard job, every grunt job, every job that nobody wants, for the most part, besides our brother immigrants, okay, we did it. A lot of times before our brother immigrants got here, the foundation of this country was laid by us. Okay, that is one of our strengths. And what has happened, what happened along the way is that in the civil rights movement, we knew that. Because the sanitation waste union that Martin Luther King worked with shut down whole cities because they didn't pick up the garbage. And we was the one that's picking up the garbage. Okay, it's been like that for a while. Now, also, we as black men are never afraid to do anything to make some money. Okay, period. It's as simple as that. Excuse me. humid evening and I don't have my air conditioner on. Now, we're starting to move up in places of tech and power and those kind of things now. But the foundation of this country, all of the things that that you look at that were built, basically were built by us. But now our weaknesses is that we came home so tired from doing all of that work. First thing we wanted to do, kick back and have a 40, or smoke a blunt. That was earlier, but then it got worse, and they figured it out. And you could see it on The Godfather. You need to watch the first Godfather. They said, and this is not just the Italian mafia that was thinking this. Basically, it was our government that knew, hey, look, we put drugs in the darks, in the colors. They're animals anyway, so let them lose their souls. That's what they said, but that's what most white people think. Now, in our neighborhoods, the alcohol is readily ready to go get that fifth of McNaughton's, that fifth of Nikolai, or whatever. Okay? That's our weakness. Another thing that's our weakness is our women. Black man can't live without a big booty. As simple as that. You've seen it on King Batch. You've seen it everywhere. All the girls, even the white girls, are starting to get big butts now. Okay? And that has a lot to do with not wanting to be alone later on in life, or having to deal with all of the issues that we black men have to deal with. We like to come home to something pretty, something fat, something nice. Okay? Those are part of our weaknesses. Okay? So now, and here's another thing. Don't be afraid of don't be afraid of the conservative court, because, like I said, we are conservatives. So we already do the work. Legal or not. Okay? This is the leadership now is that we can no longer this can no longer be sustained. We got to run those state stores out of our neighborhoods. We got to slow down the drinking in the bars. We got to give up all drug use, period. Okay? Those we have to learn. We have to go down and know our local police department. Who's there? That's also a part of what it needs to be our weaknesses. These grassroots understandings, okay, is all a part of it. Now I'm going to talk about a little bit more about this probably tomorrow or the next day. And I'm going to also talk about what our quote-unquote leaders don't mean to us black men. Because they may have me too, but guess what? Us black men say we ain't no fools too. See you later.